So with that being said, as all systems go for the 2021 local government elections, Cogta Minister Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma announced the 1st of November as election day. So will the upcoming elections actually go ahead properly and be credible? Extraordinary lecturer at the Stellenbosch University School of Public Leadership, Dr. Harlan Cloete, helps us answer this question and more. Dr. Cloete, thank you for your time and good morning to you. I think a display of democracy couldn't be much more needed at this time, because the question around whether these elections will be free and fair under the pandemic have often been debated. What is your point of view? Do you think these local government elections would be credible?
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. Yes, South Africa has got a robust democracy, and I'm confident that the ISC will be able to deliver a free and fair elections. Parties, it's going to be an interesting election. It's the first elections where the political parties will have to dig really deep to convince people to come out to go and vote. But yeah, I am pretty confident that we will have a fair and credible elections and that elections will go ahead.
Yeah. With that being said, what do you think about the smaller, parties, particularly when we're looking at just them outside of the metros? How do you think they will fare during these elections?
I think, by all indications, if you look at the past track record, the smaller parties have performed pretty well, especially outside the metros. The local dynamics or the local government elections have got a different dynamic to the national one. So in a lot of these smaller municipalities, it's a lot of more issue-driven issues are on the ground, and the smaller parties have fared pretty well. They are either kingmakers, and they contribute to these coalitions. That I think we're going to have more of these coalitions, especially in the smaller municipalities.
Yeah, and we obviously every day right here on ENCA have this focus on mayors, or at least candidate mayors, those who have been nominated. I suppose my question to you is that why do you think there needs to be a more responsive rate to communities? Because each and every time we sort of have a conversation with them or ask them questions, they're quick to point out what the other parties are doing wrong, but also missing what needs to be their response, or at least if they're elected, to communities. I
think, local government politics is quite different to national. Like I said, it's more issue-driven. It's in a lot of cases, it is also a lot of time personality-driven. And so if you look at the track record of local government the last 20 years, it has not been rosy. And so the issues that they face with unemployment, inequality, poverty, a lot of these municipalities, in fact, all of them, most of them, have what is called local economic development desk or directorates, but they have really failed to deliver onto the promise. So if local government is not succeeding, it's the first point where communities experience government. Yeah. And it has not been governed well, and so a lot hangs on, I think, this election. Communities have almost reached a point of being fed up with the way government is delivering services to them. So it's going to take a lot, but governing, it's one thing standing outside, especially the smaller parties. It's a complete different thing getting into local government and understanding how this very complex machine works, Yeah. A municipality is defined as the political leg, the administrative leg, and the community. And for those three parties or those three actors to work together, it's not as easy as switching on a light, as Professor Sampi used to say.
Yeah, Dr. Cloete, with that being said then, it seems like you have confidence that the IEC will conduct these elections free and fairly and credibly and on time. A lot of work you think needs to be done in terms of political parties, placing special focus on communities. But do you think South Africans will turn out and come up and register to vote and vote as well?
I think that is the big question. Local government elections, the turn has not been good, and so political and people have lost a lot of confidence, I think, in local government's ability to deliver. In fact, people have got a low confidence in government. There's a collective sigh. That government, is government the answer? In the had a very, very strong civil society, you know, that lobbied and knocked and pushed. But there's an apathy also, and especially amongst our younger people, you know. So the big question is whether people will turn out in their numbers. I have my reservations, you know. I think we're going to see a lot of new creative ways of canvassing. I think in the last elections, social media was used, but I think we're going to have a greater push, I think, on the social media platforms to get people out to vote, especially the young people who seem not to be as interested in politics as the older folk.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. But thank you so much for sharing your views with us, Dr. Harlan Cloete from the School of Public Leadership. Thank you so much for your time.